Hey, you favored ones! Welcome back to another collective reading. I'm Kymmy, and this is my channel, Favorite Readings. Come on in, take a seat at the round table. There is the wishing well in the corner if you care to throw in a coin or two. For any of those who are new here, welcome. And for any of those who are returning, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate all of those who subscribe, leave messages behind. It really warms my heart, and I appreciate reading through it. So before we get in today I wanted to read off a poem. So it's going to be part Rhapsodomancy. For those who don't know, Rhapsodomancy is the form of divination using poetry and ballads. It was created and used by the ancient Greek muses, and that's how they came up with their prolific messages back then. So before we get started on reading the poem and going over the daily announcements of downloads that I have, updates, remember that this is a general reading. It may not apply all the messages that I'm giving out, and that's certainly fine. We are all unique individuals, so it's no wonder that not every message will apply to you. And you know your life better than anyone else, so remember to use discernment and your free will. And if anyone tries to message you inside your DMs or below in the comments section, those are scammers. Don't give them your hard-earned money. Yeah, that's everything for now. So let's get into it. Today's poem is written by me. Usually readers or divination users will use other poems. I use my own on this channel. I have thought about doing other people's poems. I'm recollecting my book collection since the fire I went through last year, and once I have a good hefty amount, then I will branch out on that. For now, I'm gonna showcase myself. It's called Surface Tension. I'd rather say I'm shy than to begin to deconstruct the impulsive notion of checking every exit and taking in all possible outcomes. I'd rather say I'm bubbly underneath overthinking lies doormat scratching the crust. Frustration, inconsistencies, codependency. Am I being real with me? I'd rather say I trust, compared to missing out on the progress of the process. I'd rather be underestimated, starving out instant gratification. I'd rather say I love myself over the echoing of my empty cup. So I'm getting a lot of accountability that people are taking at this time. The imagery that I was getting for today's messages was geysers and volcanoes, islands, mermaids. So I want you to sit with that for a while, with the poem, and think about what it means to you, but I'm also going to give my 2 cents. For the collective right now, you're starting to take accountability on who you are in and outside of a group setting. You're starting to take accountability of, am I masking right now? Am I being my true self right now? Or am I being the safe self that I have orchestrated in order to fit in or keep myself safe? Because that's what it is usually, is fear of being rejected, and we try to fit in and people please, but you're at the stage where you don't want to people please anymore, and you don't really care what people say, but at the same time you've been masking for so long that you're trying to figure out exactly who is this behind this very orchestrated and well-painted mask? Do you recognize yourself? Do you accept yourself? And these are the things that you're processing at this time. You may be in hermit mode, which is a smart thing to do, because if you imagine if you're pouring in and everyone is their own liquid, and some people are bitter and they'll be vinegar, and some people will be overly hyper and ecstatic and they're like pop or energy drink, or some people are very depressive energy and they're like alcohol, and you're like trying to find out which liquids do you mix with, which ones brings out the most flavor in you. So let's say, for example, like cucumber water or cucumber juice, like adding that cucumbers or adding that lime or lemon to your water, or a spritz to it, to anything else, some things mixed together. So you're finding out who you mix with and who you don't with anymore. And unpopular opinion, but you don't always have to be toxic for you in order for you to, go your separate ways. Some people are only to be there for a season and a reason, and some people are meant to be there for life. And that doesn't make you any less worthy. If they have to say goodbye, or if you have to say goodbye, it doesn't mean they're not worthy either. It just means that you mix them together properly, If you, I remember this video that Mama Cussin did online for like helping people understand like medications, of how some people aren't good together and some people do mix well. Let's say your water and or your baking soda and someone else's water, you'll mix together. No big chemistry, no nothing going on like that. It's pretty mellow, good reaction. Now, if you came up on someone and your baking soda and their vinegar, well, it's gonna be an explosion, like a volcano. So you're finding out who exactly you mix with properly. So I'm gonna go over my other downloads that I have written here in my handy dandy notes. Some of you may enjoy Blue's Clues. So yeah, volcano and geysers. And the reason why this came to mind was your intuition signs are moving up the chakra line as you are trusting yourself more. An example for me, what I noticed physically in my own body, some of you may feel it differently as you have extension symptoms. Some of you may start to feel chills more. You might get shiveries more. Some of you may notice a whisper in your ear if you're clairaudient, right? So like before, you used to get like little hums in your ear, and now it's really buzzing loud when you have your intuition come through. Or before, you may have got tingly sensation inside of your lower chakras, like in your root chakra and sacral chakra. You could have got like tingles, like a little glow, like a matchstick going off, and that would be them telling you that you got your intuition, or inside of your head. But now it's becoming more physical and not just spiritual vibrations. Whereas if you're telling the truth, or if there's a truth of a situation, you would get a nudge like in your left shoulder, and like receiving the truth. You may notice that your arm may nudge, and your guides are giving you physical nudges now, compared to only spiritual nudges of like seeing a 444 pop up, or your favorite dandelion, or a butterfly. You know, I meant to say favorite flower, but dandelions could be important to you as well. Yeah, I had Madonna. Music brings the people together. DJ bringing the people together. I feel like some of you are bringing the people together, and that's what you're creating. Yeah, with the volcano and geysers, you're turning into your own island. When an underwater volcano goes off, or even a land volcano, you will find that once it slows down and cools off, it has created something. Some of you may create something in the heat of passion or during times of anger, and you channel it through your art. I'm also getting another analogy of some of you are using your art to deal with the pain of menstrual cramps, because of the very slow movement. Your pelvic muscles may need to work harder. So remember to stay hydrated. And for those who have harder periods to deal with in society, rosemary, rosehip, and turmeric, if you were looking to add those into a tea to help soothe the inflammation and help with blood flow. And for others, I'm getting the analogy that you have slowly been creeping up on your foundation. You have slowly and diligently paced yourself towards creating a solid foundation, creating a whole new island just for you, that you don't need to share a pedestal with anyone else, because we all deserve our own soapbox, pedestal, island, whatever have you. You deserve your own. You are turning into your own island. You have slowly, you may be erupting right now. If not in an anger state, then it's that your art is erupting. People are hearing about you word of mouth. Yeah, bottled tears of mermaids lead to treasures of the forgotten. So all your tears that you may have thought was overlooked, or that your sadness had been, and you were left to be forgotten with your sadness. The mermaids want to let you know they have bottled your tears and they have turned them into pearls. Pearls by Ace of Base might be a song that you enjoy. But yeah, the goddess Atargatis, which was the original mermaid from Syria. So some of you may be from Syria or have ancestral background from there, or wish to move there too. Some of you may live on islands as well, or close to like where the sea and coast. You don't have to. It just might be something that you enjoy yourself. Very mermaid energy. But she was the goddess Atargatis, Atargatis. She was in love with a shepherd and accidentally killed him, and out of despair jumped into a lake and turned into a mermaid. Signs that are associated with her are doves and not eating fish. So some of you may be vegetarian, flexitarian, vegan, or just working on trying to eat from, what is it called? Not safely sourced, but organically sourced is one way. But like sourced in a responsibly sourced foods. Some of you may be working on your own food supplies and starting up a garden, which brings me to mind my own backyard. And like my friend told me that there was like hops growing, so some of you may make your own naturally sourced, that's what it is. Some of you may be making naturally grown home libations. Some of you may make your own homegrown cannabis plants as well, trying to be as naturally sourced as possible. Woo! Woo! Yeah, some of you may be feeling like you're split in two different directions. I was gonna say two different racks. Yeah, between hunting and maybe not hunting. Yeah, some of you may be stuck between two different tax brackets. I did stock on doing taxes recently, but when I went to go shuffle the deck, it completely flipped in half and faced each other. So I think you're facing both your halves. Both half of yourself is facing one another. So your light attributes and your shadow attributes, you're facing your feminine attributes and your masculine attributes. So you're balancing your give and take. So you are learning how to build your foundation and learning that it is okay to keep for yourself and it is okay to wait to share with others. Like, let's say, for example, what would be an example? Can you give me an example, please, Spirit? Let's say you can't give, you're a type of person who likes giving out gifts for people's birthdays every single year, but you weren't able to give gifts to your friends this year because you were saving up to buy a camper or buy your own music or save towards publishing a book, and you're wondering if people still feel like you're wondering if you're still a genuine giving person. And I feel like people do see you that way and they see you as very balanced. Or if you're not in the moment, then they feel like you have the gusto, you have the capabilities of accomplishing that. Yes, it flipped out. Six of Pentacles, getting what you deserve. Even if you may not have it now, people know that in the end, if you say you're going to do something, if you say you're going to create something, if you say you're going to make something of yourself, you do it. And they know your guides are there to back you up as well. And it's never too late. It's never too late to start something new. You know, for all those people who like to say that, yeah, balancing, temperance, yet again, balancing the energy, pouring equally into yourself and your dreams, and knowing that you need to pace yourself along this journey. Because you got to go all the way across the mountains. And for some people, you think the mountain would be the end of it, right? But no, then you have to make your way through, along the mountains, and back down the other side. So you're pacing yourself. You're making sure you're bringing water, you're bringing that trail mix. You're not trying to like go, a lot of you might be German, because I know Germans like to hike and walk a lot. Doesn't have to be. You could just be from that area of the UK and Northern Europe. Yeah, daffodils are just a symbolism for new beginning. At least they look kind of like daffodils. I could be wrong, but when I looked at the flowers, that's what it did for me. And the symbolism for daffodils is a new beginning, a rebirthing. So you're rebirthing your energy and giving back into yourself, taking time. Uh, and now that you have given that time, it is slowly starting to pick back up. And Spirit just wants to remind you, as things are slowly picking back up, don't take this as a challenge to do more than what because you're supposed to thrive with ease. Don't take this picking up as a challenge to put as much on your plate like an eating competition. No. Spirit wants to let you know that, like a buffet, you're supposed to be eating and working like this is a buffet, not an eating competition. You're not supposed to be going up and taking as much on your plate as possible and shoving it down your gourd as fast as possible. No, Spirit wants you to think of it this way, that it is creating a buffet for you. What happens at a buffet when something runs out? They replace it. What happens when food's gone a little cold at a buffet? They replace it. You're way worth more than cold scraps and gorging yourself to the very end. Sorry for anyone who has an eating disorder. I know this could be very triggering. I'm doing my best to give an analogy as much as possible. And for anyone who is struggling with that, I know personally from family and my own personal experiences, it's not an easy thing to deal with. So the fact that you're oh so brave and doing the best for your body, I'm proud of you. For anyone who needs to hear that, I'm proud of you. For anyone who's dealing with food security as well, I'm proud of you for throwing away that food that wasn't the best anymore. Those stale chips, they can go. And I know you're worried about animals and everything giving up its life. It all has its own journey to bear. And as much as we don't like to think about it, there is little creepy, eepy little bugs and ecosystems that will break it down and eat it after we don't want it anymore. So whatever is a waste to us is a feast to the bugs. Okay, so like the old saying of one man's junk is another man's treasure. Some of you may like My Name is Junk, the performer. Some of you may work in the medical field or help take care of others, like a childcare worker or an advocate worker. It just reminds me of one of those lights that the doctors used to wear. I think it was a light, old school style. I know it's supposed to be the symbol of the sun. So yeah, a lot of you may be looking into your charts right now, finding out where your sun is located, in what house, and yeah, slowly starting to learn your natal chart and what the different meanings are. Can we get more messages for my beautiful favored mermaids and mermans? Merfolk. Yeah. Your hermiting is justified. Your hermiting is not dampening your star. You are protecting your light, not the other way around. You may feel like you're being punished because in the past you may have been hidden away, but this time it's not so much, because you see, instead of like with a bird cage, some of you may take care of birds or like birds, but when you're putting a bird to sleep for a night or having them quiet, you put a blanket over top of the cage. This is not the case for you this time. We are not hiding away your light. We are protecting it. So for some of you, there may have been energy vampires or those who were taking your energy for granted, taking your time and presence with entitlement, which is a no-no. We're not having that. So you are protecting your light at this time. Now, a lot of traveling energy going on. Oh! You got the whole world in your hand. Yeah, you could be traveling the world right now, or your art, your word of mouth is traveling worldwide. Now, whether this is because of fandom or just because you have family that supports you worldwide. Some of you may be into batons, fire blowing or fire spinning with the batons there, or I think they're candles. They're meant to be candles. Yeah, a lot of you may have a lot of different familiars or spirit guides around you at this time. A lot of you could be weaving reefs for Yule coming up. Yeah, some of you could have dyed your hair, or your passion is working with hair, because with the red part inside of the hair there, you could have just dyed your hair, or your passion is your hair. You could have got a new haircut like me as well. A lot of you could have just updated your look, or your passion is helping others update their looks. A lot of you could be online for teaching how to do tutorial for makeups, or you're an influencer and you just really teach other people, you know, their color and what would make them pop and how they would look good. I feel like you really hype other people's around you up as much as your guides hype you up. Yeah, I feel like you're a humanitarian and you talk about world issues worldwide, whether it's talking about not using the fake glitter from eucalyptus because it's going extinct from over farming and the fires, and koalas need that, or just different things that you stand for. You stand for things around the world. I feel like for my collective, it doesn't necessarily need to be happening to you for you to care, which is so awesome. I'm happy that my collective is those who care about others without it needing to directly affect them. And if that's not you, then that message is for those who are that way. Yeah. I feel like a lot of you had moved through a tower moment in order to reach this 10 of Cups. And I feel like for most of you, it was a blindsiding, because I'm getting pulled towards the left side. Yeah, a lot of you had to leave behind something. And it is creating this 10 of Cups for yourself, for those who surround you. A lot of you could be worried about the other boot dropping. And the spirit guides is telling me that they threw away the other boot with the first one. They didn't leave behind that boot. They gave you a whole brand new pair of slippers. You could feel like the Cinderella story really applies to you. That your animal friend saved you, so you could have a lot of like, you could have a guide dog, you could have a emotional support pet, emotional support familiar. Yeah, you are making tangible progress towards your 9 of Cups. So not only 10 of Cups, 9 of Cups, and making tangible progress. I feel like for a lot of the collective, this is something that's just coming through to me, is that a lot of us may on the outside look like we have the 10 of Cups, which is great, and we do have the 10 of Cups, but there may be stuff that are a little bit needed in order for you to fully feel it. So that's why you're like, I am at the 10 of Cups, but I want to make sure that I'm continuing to pour into the rest of the cups on the way down. The imagery that they're giving me is when you are at a fancy place and they have the big stacking pyramid of champagne glasses and they pour from the top and it starts trickling down. I feel like that's what happened, is that the universe gave you a whole tower of glasses to celebrate all the abundance coming in, and right now you're just pouring the champagne and waiting it to flow down to the rest of the cups. It's like, I know this is supposed to be like a sheet of like a table and showcasing, but I feel like that's like the overflowing abundance from the cup. So not only are you stable in abundance, you're also making tangible progress towards yet another 9 of Cups. So not only are you, some of you may feel like you are dependent on others or reliant on others at this time, whether it be government funding or you have to co-parent with someone else in order to take care of your young one, which might make this 10 of Cups feel a little out of reach, a little bit of a rainbow in the sky, you know, an illusion if you tried to touch it. But your guides want to make you feel like it's tangible. That rainbow, that 10 of Cups is touchable. And if you don't believe it yet, then we're going to give you a table so you can reach up and take the 9 of Cups until that last one that makes you feel accomplished comes through. So that's 10. So 10 of completing, 9. So you could be seeing 9s and 10s a lot. 19 could be really important to you. 1991. 1919. Yeah, the underlining energy on the bottom of the deck. It was 3333 when started all that. So triple threes, 4 3s you could be seeing a lot of. And that's all the messages I have for you today. Is looking great, honestly. We have a lot of pentacles coming through, so you could have been worried about money for a while. And we have major arcana coming through: the World, the Hermit, Temperance. Yeah, someone tried to knock your crown off your head, and it didn't work out for them because you got back up and you claimed the world that you deserved. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not being selective with who your energy is given to and protecting your heart and your mind. Now, this doesn't have to be from outside sources. It could be from the leftover programming that is being rewired from those who were mean to you from yesteryear. That's what temperance is for, is so that you can temperance between what is actual, like, beneficial criticism and which one is bullying? And which one are you doing to yourself? You are getting what you deserve. You will not always need to scrummage for scraps. You will not have to eat all that non-good food and you're wondering, you could just throw it in the compost soon. Soon you'll be feeding the bugs instead of feeding yourself bug you. And that's what I have for you today. Thank you for letting me read your energy. I look forward to you all in the next reading, feeling your energies and seeing what the messages come out. I appreciate all your patience, considering I am trying to delve into a whole new part of myself that I wanted to since I was younger, which is music and of course my poetry. So I appreciate it, and I am going to do my best to post at least 3 times a week. I don't want to set up a schedule because, well, honestly, I like the fluidity and the going with the flow of the universe. And how am I supposed to teach you all that if I'm not doing it myself? So thank you for being here while I learn and teach you. I appreciate you taking me on as a mentor, and I appreciate and love teaching all of you. So remember to eat, hydrate, and yes, have fun. Bye.